I'm Moises de la Torre, and I'm playing as Tom Ripley.
Hi, my name is Serrano-Ojeda, and I'm playing as Dickie.
Murdered a man?
Dickie's prostitute sees his moms, and he fled to Malta and Palermo. He painted some of his greatest works on the run.
Really?
He finally caught up with him here in Naples. He beat him up, disfigured his face, on THEA.
Who did?
Who knows? Friends with him. Call for life, death.
Yeah. I want to see more of his paintings.
We'll take you to Rome sometime. Some of his greatest ones are there.
Oh, I'd love that.
Freddie! Dickie! Hi!
Benissimo.
What are you doing here?
Just passing through Max and me. How are you?
Good.
How's March?
Good.
Still writing that book?
This very moment. Want a drink?
I'd love one, but just a quick one. I have a train to catch. Waiter, Serrano.
Tom, this is Freddie Miles. He's come from New York.
How are you doing?
Fine.
Do I know you?
No, I don't think so. I think I remember. Yeah.
Oh, we've met before. Tom Delancey, maybe?
I don't think so.
So, I think it was there at the part I sent for you. A party, maybe? I'm sure of it.
Don't remember. Sorry.
So how do you know each other?
Oh, we met here in Atrani.
So what do you do in New York?
Nothing now. I live here.
Before?
Accounting. You?
Freddie's a playwright.
Oh. I was gonna guess something like that.
Were you?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
So here's the thing. I'm renting a big house in Cortana over the summer. You and Marge have to come over. And why wouldn't you? Christmas with Alex? Say yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
It's good. We'll ski and drink ourselves to death.
Perfect.
Tom what?
Ripley.
Ripley.
Alright, well, so in the original Ripley episode, the Italian cafe's outdoor setting is intended to contrast with the dark undercurrent of the dialogue. This is seen with the romantic and intimate setting that Dickie and Tom replace themselves in. Now, in this specific scene, the Tom is introduced to Freddie by Dickie, yet the real meat and potatoes of this scene lies in the conversation between Tom and Dickie specifically. Now, what I'm referring to is the conversation about the artist who murders an individual, flees, and then yet continues to create their own art. We believe this was a subtle foreshadowing of Tom's descent into obsession, violence, and manipulation.
So the reason we chose the beach as a place for the scene is because the alleyway really didn't feel fancy enough for someone like Freddie as well as Dickie, because they're both rich people. So it makes sense that they would hang out in a more rich place versus the alleyway that they were originally at because of Dickie and Tom. It didn't really feel as high class as it would, or it should feel. And so the beach really offers a more luxurious place where it makes sense, like when Tom first meets Dickie at the beach. And so it also furthers the motif of the waves crashing on the beach, because that symbolizes this disturbing of peace, this disruption, because Tom feels that he's confident in his manipulation of Dickie, but when you have the waves crashing on the beach, it really just shows that Tom's world is clashing or falling apart.
Yeah, so we did add a grandfather clock as just like a little hint of symbolism in a couple of the scenes in our video, and we really wanted that to imply time and just the passage of time. You know, in their first conversation within this scene, they're talking about this artist who's on the run, he's running out of time, people are following him, chasing after him, and it's kind of like Tom Ripley, how he's on the run, he's running out of time, and just this fascination of this implied amount of time that's ticking. It could be, you know, it's ticking in its head before he's gonna do something violent. Like, we don't really know like what's below the surface yet, which is why the foreshadowing is so important and fascinating. And it's also fascinating because time can also be seen in the context of when Freddie and Dickie are talking about to run out of time, but they don't even know it. And they're joking around. They're talking about partying in the Alps. They're even talking about like drinking themselves to death. And the foreshadowing is right there that, you know, they're gonna fall victim to Ripley. And it's like they don't even directly invite Ripley. He's just there observing them, watching them. And, you know, in the end, Freddie asks his last name in some way. You know, he says, Tom what? And he says, Ripley. And I don't know, I was just kind of thinking back to like Jack the Ripper and just these different kind of nuances, and especially when we think about Tom's behavior and how cold, distant Tom is, and he's not really good at, you know, reading social cues. And it's like, it's never really, it's, you know, Freddie and Dickie are so caught up in their own lives that they're really not paying attention to the inner monologue or what could be going on behind the scenes of Tom. And I think also, like, not to like breeze over that part, but even in the very beginning when they're talking about the artist whose greatest works were after he murdered a man, and the fact that Tom keeps that curiosity and he keeps asking about it and he's so fascinated by it, and, you know, not really picking up on the social cue to like talk about something else, but really just asking more and more about it. It's just so fascinating. It's kind of like he may be developing this hyperfixation, not just on luxury and all these other aspects, but really on how he might want to live his next life, and, you know, if that's something he may be interested in for himself.
Alright, in this short, we chose a setting position dynamic where Freddie enters and imposes his presence on Tom. So we chose the setting where Tom is sitting down and Freddie is standing up to demonstrate the imposing presence that Freddie placed onto Tom that is seen in the original scene with the general discomfort. So in this scene, Freddie enters and he's automatically questioning Tom. So this adds to the discomfort that there's an unspoken kind of argument or fight between the two that is just shown between uncomfortable questioning, awkward pausing in the scene, and we chose in ours to instead show it as like a physical setting difference. Additionally, we chose an isolated part of the beach to show the isolation that Tom wants to impose on Dickie. So in isolating, keeping him from Marge and keeping him from Freddie. So the parallel, the isolation of the beach parallels the isolation that Tom wants to impose onto